I had to go back upstairs to get this because the font is so small I can't read it. The first thing I see is that after you mix it, you put it in an airtight bottle, totally filled, and then let it sit for 2 to 6 weeks. What the heck is that? I want to develop them today. I bought the powder so it would be quick. And then I run into 2 to 6 weeks. May as well send the film away to be developed. What to do? What to do? So I'm just going to mix a liter and develop what I have and deal with this problem in the next round. So I'm not going to wait. I put in the cold water from the jug. Then I added some boiling water from the teapot to get about 100 degrees to mix the chemical. Now that I have a fan that works, I don't have to run outside to pour the chemicals into the jar. I do have a magnetic stirrer, but it's not really worth it because this dissolves pretty quickly. I will save this developer after I develop that film because I usually throw it away, but since they want to save developer for 2 to 4 weeks or 6 weeks, I'll save it and see if it does anything, and I'll do some 110 reel developings with it when it's old. But I'm going to use it once, and I don't know if that'll be reusable or not. I have 5 of these developing packets. That's enough to make a gallon to develop 1 roll of film all at the same time. But I've messed up photographing so much of the film I had to cut it and remove it. You know, I wouldn't close the iris after focusing, or I left the thing open. Alright, bleach and fix bath has the same disclosure. Put it in a tightly capped bottle after you mix it together for 8 to 12 weeks. That's even worse. Last year I used it right away. I got nice pictures. Alright, 1 liter from this glass mixer. Totally filled this brown glass bottle, and it overflowed a little bit, so do it over a sink. The foam filled the last bit of the neck, and now it's, you know, a 1/4 teaspoon below the neck. So I'll put a little water in there, put the cap on, and then put the proper labels on the bottle. CS41 developer and today's date. Now to repeat the process to make the blicks. The water goes in the teapot, but just a little bit. About 250 milliliters is enough to bring this up to 100-degree temperature to dissolve the chemicals. Most of the water goes into the beaker. Okay, part A is dissolving in room temperature water. The hot water is not hot yet. And this smells of ammonia. So I close the door so the air will be dragged from behind me up into the fan, and then the smell will go away from me. But you can see that this is almost totally dissolved now, and I just started. But it stinks. But it's only ammonia, you know. So the fan will take care of this. Now I have to read about part B. Water's boiling. Turn this off. So in a different beaker, I will mix part B with water, then add it to this one. And don't use enough water to be over 1,000 milliliters. I'm at 750 now. A separate beaker is not required, but you need room for foam because it creates an endothermic reaction that lasts about 5 minutes. So I will add part B in here and stir it, and then top it off and stir it for a while at 100 degrees and bottle it. Alright, the developer and bleach and fix are both mixed, bottled, labeled, put away. Instructions are behind the bottle. The bottles are up on the shelf in full view. So this is the end of a section. That's how long it took. And now I have to decide what to do next. Okay, let's develop this film. Since we don't have to wait, those instructions only say something incorrectly. The time that they give means that's how long this chemical will last if you don't even use it. Or if it's exposed to air, it lasts even less than that. So you could use it right away. It does not have to wait. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have to warm up the developer to 102 degrees. The easiest way to warm up the developer in the bottle is to put boiling water around it and measure the temperature until it gets up to where you want it to be. The developing tank will be surrounded by water at the temperature that's desired. I squirt the hose onto the stem of the thermometer as I fill the tub. Alright, we're halfway. Takes 8 minutes. I put more cold water into the tub so it wasn't 102 degrees. Lower the temperature for that. I get to shoot more film more often and see results faster by developing it myself, but I never get a scan. I get prints. So I project prints with a projector, and that's what I like to do. The bleach and fix is going back into the bottle. I will save it. A lot of the developer was lost, and I had to top it off with quite a bit of water. And I assume the same thing's going to happen here, which only means that you take longer the next time you use it. And I am going to use it again. This processing method may seem to take a long time. However, there's no stop bath. You don't have to mix it, you don't have to put it in, you don't have to rinse it out. The bleach and the fix are both combined, so you only do it once. So there's only 3 things you have to do. You develop it, and then you rinse it, and then you put the Blix, and you rinse it, and rinse it, and rinse it, and rinse it, and then you put the photo flow for the final rinse, and you're done. That is a lot easier than ECM, where all the different chemicals are separated. So it's a faster process, and I'm done. I gotta pour it out, save it, and rinse it. The top of my universal tank does not want to turn, so I use this bottle opener I got to hold the bottom as well. But it just turns it right away and then off it comes. It's very tight. So you don't miss any of the details. The screw is loosened. The spirals are turned upside down, put in the lid. The film is put onto the drying rack, emulsion side out, after running it through a rag. And this drying rack was made for Kodak 16mm 200-foot magazines for the Cine Kodak Special. This phase of the work is now completed. Two shots were made with not quite a full wind. My wife in the dining room under daylight bulbs, and my wife in the shade in the backyard on the grass, where there was bright sun everywhere else. It was so bright I couldn't use this film without closing the shutter all the way and running it at 32 frames a second, which I tried, but I forgot to close the iris and I wasted a whole wind shooting flowers. Okay, I need more practice shooting film with the Bolex. Alright, everything's cleaned up. The sink is wiped down, sponged out to let everything dry. All the waters are removed. The filter pitcher has water in it, and the film is drying, and I'm going to leave now and find out what time it is. Alright, that's how long it took to develop it. The negative is probably dry by now, and I could roll it up, print it, but I have to mix a liter of PCE and stop bath, and I think I have bleach and fixer already mixed, but maybe not. The last bit of print film was not long enough for the entire shot, but it's pretty long, so I will develop it now. I can always print another one. Alright, I found bleach, I found fixer, the film is loaded, got to put that hose back in, and I dumped out the old ECP because it was only about that high, a third of a container, and it's oxidized, so it's bad, threw away. I have to mix a new one. So I'm going to mark time now because I have to go upstairs and babysit the front door for a workman coming to make our new bathroom. My wife's on a refugee run. Time. Printing was a fail. The pictures are there, but they're very, very light. Even the edge is light, which means that the print film was old. I used what was left in a box, you know, a 100-foot box. It wasn't anywhere near. It was like 20 feet, that's all. It was something that was left over. I saved the developer, not the stop bath. Fixer and bleach are both saved. This negative would have to be printed at more than 5 volts, which is what I used and what usually works, but I guess it's more dense. So I would probably print it at 6 volts and develop it longer than 3 minutes.